Welcome to the Veterinary Marketing Podcast, where it's all about helping your veterinary practice attract, engage, and retain clients. Broadcasting a new podcast every Monday from sunny Southern California, here's your host, Brandon Bashirs.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome to episode number 197 of the Veterinary Marketing Podcast. Hope you're doing wonderful. Hope everybody's staying safe out there. In the future, we are back in April of 2020, so you'll remember how fun that was. If you're in and listening to it relatively close to when this is being released, hope everybody's staying safe and staying healthy out there. So today's episode, we're going to talk about 4 tips and tactics that you're going to be able to use to improve your AdWords experience. If you're doing Google AdWords, you're thinking about doing Google AdWords, this is going to be a great episode. Super tactical, kind of nerdy. So if you're not into this or you're not doing AdWords right now, I would say save this kind of bit of info for later. I would still listen to it because it's going to be something that if you know that it exists, you'll be able to use it later. So I think it's going to be very, very helpful. Let's jump into today's episode in just a second. First, we're going to talk about a few things, though. If you haven't subscribed on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast, be sure to head on over there right now. The next thing that I think is very important for you to do is head on over to the Facebook group, The Veterinary Marketing Nerds. You go to facebook.com/groups/The Veterinary Marketing Nerds. Request to join there. It's completely free. Tons of resources, tips, and tools for you. So be sure to join. All right, so let's jump into today's episode. We got 4 things that will help you to improve your AdWords. Now, this is going to be assuming that you have good campaigns set up. If you don't know if your campaigns are set up properly, I think that it's just very important to get your campaign structure set up. Now, I've done a lot of AdWords episodes and the basics of AdWords. I think I did a 2-part series back around episode 120 or so. So head on back there if you haven't listened to those as well, and just be sure to check up on that again. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is Dayparting. And this is, I think, one of the more basic tips here. But you can run your ads only when you're open for business. And I think this is important, especially when you are trying to conserve budget and really only try to target people that can actually come into the practice. So we're talking about those transactional search terms that are happening in your marketplace where people are actively searching. You don't want to be driving traffic in the middle of the night. I all the time get people say, well, I know that people are searching in the middle of the night because they want to set an appointment for the next day or for some other time. I get that. But if you're not going to be able to hit complete kind of saturation for the market between the hours that you're open, and most practices that are doing $20, $30 a day, they're not even getting close. So it's important to use this along with auction insights. If you live in a super rural area and there's not many people around, then maybe you would want to run 24 hours a day. But for the majority of practices, you look at your auction insights and you see what percentage of ad share you're getting. And percentage of ad share shows you, okay, let's say you have a campaign set up for vet near me search terms, and let's say you're doing $10 per day. Your impression share will tell you how often your ads are coming up in the eligible searches that are happening. So every time your ads show up and you get an impression, that's called an ad auction. Okay, so you and all your competitors are bidding to get your ads placed based on the keywords that are being searched for. So that is an auction event. Every single time your ads get an impression, an auction is happening. So if you're running, say, $10 per day, and you have your campaign set up with the location set up, the schedule set up, the keyword set up, it then is telling you how many of those potential auctions you're showing up. So if you're getting 10% impression share, that means out of 100 searches that are happening every day, your ads are showing up 10 times. Now, impression share does not mean click-through rates. It doesn't mean how many clicks you're getting. It just is showing you what the potential in the market is. And that's assuming that you don't add any keywords or add any niche funnels or things like that. So with that, you're able to see, specifically how often you're showing up, how many potential searches are happening, if you should increase the budget, if you should decrease the budget, if you should lower the number of potential searches that you're getting in. So let's say you're running ads 24 hours a day and you're at 5% impression share. If you change it so that now you're at only like between 9 and 5 p.m., for example, and your impression share is at, say, 15% now, you're still way below the potential here. You're not even capturing all of that low-hanging fruit that's happening during business hours. So the opportunity cost of running 24 hours a day is almost nothing. I would say don't have that fear of missing out, that you're going to miss people in the middle of the night, and only take the calls that are going to happen in the middle of the day that you'll actually be able to answer and help. Especially right now when we have same-day services, searches that I really suggest you going on. And the kind of searches that are going to get people to come in the door instead of people that, are just interested. So use Dayparting and make sure that that is happening. So the next tip, which is kind of along the lines of what we just talked about, is you can do bid adjustments for schedules. Now, bid adjustments are a great tool to give you the adjustability. You can either go up or down based on what you're trying to do. You could do bid adjustments for specific keywords, for specific locations, or times of day. So if you have a schedule running 7 days a week, for example, it's important. And okay, on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, we only have these people in the practice, so we don't want it to be as busy. You can then make adjustments for those days that you don't want to be as busy. You could say, okay, on these days, we want to have a bid adjustment of, say, 50%. And what that'll do is it'll add or force ad spend during the other days of the week and allow you to get more calls. And I find this to be very helpful, especially if you're doing emergency searches or if you have staffing problems, or let's say right now you're splitting people into 2 different groups in your hospital and you know that you have more capacity on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And so then you want to have more call volume and more patients on those days. So I would probably do a bid adjustment down. Now, bid adjustments, the way that they work is it gives you, let's say that your average cost per click is $1, for example. If you say the bid adjustment is going to be 150%, that would give Google an indication that you're going to be willing to charge more per click, and so it's going to let you show up at more auctions. So I don't typically like doing bid adjustments up. I typically go for bid adjustments down on the days that I'm trying to be less busy. And I hope that makes sense. I know this is kind of super advanced, but I think it's important that you just stow this away in your tool belt so that you said, I remember if we need to do certain days less busy, we can do something. I'll go find it. So that's what I'm trying to help you with right now. And if you need any help, by the way, with ads or anything, I have clients who ask me all the time, hey, do you do Google AdWords? The answer is yes, I do. And if you are interested at all, please don't hesitate to reach out. But let's talk about bid adjustment for time of day, which is kind of like the next level of dayparting. It's Dayparting 2.0. The next thing is do bid adjustments for locations. So it's very much along the same lines as for days and specific times of day. The next thing that I think is just as valuable as making sure for locations. Now, this is extremely, extremely important for people that are offering services for maybe local delivery or they're doing local mobile practice stuff. You want to be focusing on those areas that are going to be the best for you, especially if you're mobile right now. Mobile practices are crazy busy, so you don't want to spend time driving. It makes sense to pay a little bit more for clicks that are local to you. You don't have to drive as far. So doing bid adjustments for locations, I typically suggest doing either dropping pins on a map and then adjusting bids for those pin drops, or you can do zip codes, and zip codes works great too. And that way you can track where the clients are coming from too. If you have the billing zip codes that you're going to use in your practice management software and you see, okay, these really correlate with the number of clicks that we're getting in Google AdWords, it adds an extra layer of reporting that you can use. So adjusting bids for locations is a fantastic way to manipulate the way that you're going to get more traffic in specific areas. So I like this strategy a lot right now. And I highly suggest checking it out. If you don't know how to do this, again, if you want to reach out to me, please don't hesitate to. But I think these are some really, really great tactics. The next thing that I think are super important that are going to help you to get more out of your Google AdWords are callout extensions and site link extensions. With your Google Ads, you want to be adding as much real estate to the ad as possible. The more space that you're going to take up, the more potential you have for getting clicks. And so it's very important that you add site link extensions and callout extensions, and that you are actively working to get clicks and improve your click-through rate with these. Right now, site link extensions that I love using are updating the ads for clients that are making adjustments for COVID-19. So curbside pickup, like local delivery, mobile practice. Like what are the things that you're doing that are going to help to protect your staff and the community with all of this craziness? And if you have the conversation that's going on in people's minds already, right? They're nervous, they're scared, so they're also not sure, are you open right now? I tell you, I was trying to, I had a self-storage unit that I had to go to, and I didn't know if the company was open, and I couldn't get hold of anybody, and they finally texted me back. But they didn't make any updates to their site. When I searched for it, they had no social post updates. So if you are making updates to your site, it's important that you let people know what the updates are, the new procedures that you have, and how they can benefit from it. I hope that makes sense, because I think that's very, very important. So with all of those things, you're going to see an improvement in your ads and ads performance. So add callout extensions, add site link extensions, and really with those, I think highlighting the different services that you're providing and offering, it just gives a better, fuller picture of what you do. Especially if you're doing things like, let's say you're targeting vet near me searches that are just more generic. If you add to those more generic terms, different services that you're offering, because maybe somebody's searching for a vet near me, but they need orthopedic surgery for their pet, or they're looking for dental work, or they're doing non-specific searches, but then if you have that additional detail in there, it's going to help them to make the decision to click on your ad. The higher your click-through rate, the better your quality score. The better your quality score, the lower the cost per the click. So just make them as complete as possible and take up real estate. So just to recap, Dayparting, make sure that you're only running ads during time of day. Number 2 is bid adjustments for day of the week, time of the day. You can get very, very specific with that. And especially depending on staffing and things, I think that's something very important to do. Then we got bid adjustment for location. Make sure you're targeting those people that are the most likely to come into your practice, or if you're mobile vet, the people that you want to be driving to, if you don't want to be doing far away appointments. Number 4 are callout and site link extensions, making sure that your ads are clickable and are going to help to give you the highest click-through rates possible. I hope this was helpful. I know that it was super technical and nerdy. I would love to hear some feedback, though. Do you think that this is helpful? Do you think that you would like more highly detailed stuff like this, or do you like more general stuff? Would always like to be making content that you're into. So hope that you have a great day. Hope to see you in the Facebook group, and we'll talk soon. Have a good day, everybody.